Ms. Pooja Upadhyay is a devoted primary teacher at Vibjir High, Yelhunka, Bangalore, admired for her exceptional teaching skills and warm personality. With a strong commitment to nurturing young learners, she combines effective classroom management with a student-friendly approach, creating an environment where children feel both inspired and supported. Her ability to balance discipline with empathy has earned her the respect and affection of students and teachers alike, making her a cherished presence in the school community. Beyond her classroom, Ms. Upadhyay has made significant contributions to extra-mile education and training, moderating numerous online sessions that have enriched the learning experience for many. Recognized as an effective teacher and mentor, she continues to leave a lasting impact through her dedication, innovation, and heartfelt passion for education. Hearty welcome, Ms. Pooja. Please proceed. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Biju sir, for this beautiful introduction. Good evening, Salam sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Good evening. Yes, sir. Thank you. A very good evening, everyone. Greetings from Extra Mile. Extra Mile is an exclusive platform created by the founder of BTEC, Dr. Abdul Salam sir, for providing online and offline training. Having a pool of resource person, Extra Mile is resourceful to provide online and on-site training on demand across India. Before we begin, I would like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Abdul Salam sir and Extra Mile Education and Training for giving me this coveted opportunity. I also extend a very warm welcome to all the participants. In today's session, we will explore the playful pathways for effective learning through simple games and activities. Before we begin with today's session, there are some points I would like to quickly brief you about. Any query during the session can be conveyed through the meeting chat box. In order to have an interactive experience, you may clear your doubts by asking questions. Kindly use the virtual hand raise button and wait for your name to be called out for asking your query. The participant will have the opportunity to receive certificate only after filling up the certificate and feedback form. The link for which will be shared at the end of the session. Kindly stay connected till the end of the session. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Dr. Abdul Salam sir. Dr. Salam is a distinguished CBSE resource person and master trainer who has made significant contributions to the education sector. Dr. Salam sir also serves as an assessor for the National Accreditation Board for Education and Training under the Government of India. He is the visionary founder and CEO of Extra Mile Education and Training and Bharat Transformers Academic Group. Sir, I invite you to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, Salam sir.
Thank you, Ms. Pooja.
Thank you, sir.
Respected resource person, Ms. Shweta Jain, dear Viju sir, and all the educators who have joined for this exclusive session, especially for primary and middle school teachers. Well, nowadays, teaching learning is outcome-based, and learning needs to be spontaneous, natural, and students tend to become motivated when they are engaged in interesting activities and games, simple games, maybe snake and ladder. So such games can enhance their learning skills, understanding, grabbing the concepts. So we are making an attempt here. Shweta Jain madam has prepared a lot of games and activities for the primary and middle school teachers, but it is applicable across all the grades. Let's listen to Ms. Shweta Jain and see how we can make use of these activities or games in our classrooms for effective learning outcomes. Thank you so much, Shweta ma'am, for offering this session. This session may take some time more as she has to demonstrate some of the games and activities. So stay connected till the end. Thank you so much for joining once again. Happy welcome to Extra Mile Education and Training. Thank you. Over to Pujana. Pujana, about you. Thank you.
Thank you, Salam sir, for your kind words. Sir, I think your camera is off, sir. Salam sir.
No, it's on. I can see.
Sonally.
It's
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst us we also have Mr. Biju S. Pillai. He has vast experience in the field of education in many capacities, and currently he is the principal of Sri Chitra Public School, Trivandrum. I request Mr. Biju S. Pillai to felicitate the gathering with his kind words. Over to you, Biju sir.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Most respected Program Director Dr. Abdul Salam sir, today's resource person Sweta Jain, and all respected educators in the platform of Extra Mile. Wonderful evening and advance Happy New Year to all my educators. Today's topic has got much value because NEP 2020 is strongly recommending on playful methodology, especially in foundational stages. And also, teachers, you might be knowing, children grabbing their attention, bringing their attention towards one particular area is a little bit difficult. And playway methods, this methodology can be adopted in any classroom situation wherein we can easily make children to learn things very easily and also decrease their tension. So playway methodology definitely gives learning expansion a very simple and tension-free situation. So to know more about, we can just listen to today's session, which is highly important and which can be benefited by all the teachers and can be adopted in the classroom situations. So without wasting much time, I am moving on to the session. Back to Pooja ma'am. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Biju sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. Now let me introduce our resource person, Ms. Sweta Jain, through a short video.
Ms. Sweta Jain has accumulated over 8 years of experience in the field of education and currently serves as the class representative of Grade 1 at Akshar International School, Pune. Her academic qualifications include an MPhil and AB Ed degree. She has contributed a newspaper article to NIE and has hosted several orientation programs at the school level. Additionally, she has been instrumental in introducing innovative teaching learning materials to enhance classroom teaching methodologies. An avid reader, Ms. Jain has a passion for exploring different genres of books, reflecting her commitment to continuous learning and growth. Hearty welcome, Ms. Sweta. Please proceed. The stage is yours.
On behalf of everyone present here, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to you to take over the proceedings of the evening. Over to you, Shweta ma'am.
Thank you so much, Pooja ma'am. Thank you, Biju sir. Thank you, Salam sir, for this opportunity. And I hope I'll be able to give justice to the topic, playway pathways, playful methods in a very simple and, compatible way. Let's, without further ado, sir, can I start? I can share my screen and start?
Yes, ma'am. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. All right. Pooja ma'am, just let me know if my screen is audible.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right. Let's start. I am hoping that it has to be a very interactive session. So I want a lot of chat box, your keys on the keyboard to keep typing me as and when I want. So let's start. Good evening, everyone present here. As I already mentioned that I'm hoping this to be a very interactive session and hoping that I'm able to add value to your existing knowledge. So let's move forward. Oh. Let's warm up a bit. I would start with an interactive session. I want to know why should we use games in education? I want you all to type into me and tell me why should we introduce game in education? What do you think is the value that we add when we add games to the education?
Miss Shweta, your screen, the PPT is very small in size.
Okay.
It has a dual, screen, like,
Yes, ma'am. One side it's quite empty, and another side it is coming, ma'am.
But it's clear on my, okay.
Is it on screenplay mode, screen share mode?
I'll just try, sir. I'll just try.
Yeah, please check.
Yes. So can I stop share and do it again?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll just try it again.
Still, dual screen is coming.
Now is it clear?
Your screen is split into two. One screen is on your camera, and the other screen is the PPT.
Okay.
I think now it's clear.
So now is it clear?
Not at all. Because something is hiding the PPT.
Okay.
You have to move that.
Yes. Now it should.
Yes. Fine.
Now it's clear, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. So I'm sorry. Let's get back to the content as to why we would want to have, games in the education.
Madam, can you close that chat box or something which is open? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Done.
Now it's-
Done. I'll check it for. Okay. Smita ma'am has written physically and mentally, children need to be refreshed. Children will be enjoying by Anuradha ma'am. Sri Vidya ma'am has written it will be interesting and better understanding. Sheetal Jadhav ma'am has written for better learning through activity. Well, nice, great. Thank you so much, participants. So yes, we do need education because it boosts engagement. It boosts critical thinking and social skills. And it makes learning active, contextual, social, and measurable, which is just ideal for the foundational and the competency-based education that we are catering nowadays for engaging. Thank you, Smita ma'am. So we all agree that to what Albert Einstein has very nicely put forth, that play is the highest form of research. Yes, we all do. I can get that thumbs up on the chat box as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So by the end of this session, we would be able to understand the objectives, which is strategy, establishing game as formal pedagogical tool for syllabus completion and student mastery, policy, decoding the NEP 2020, methodology, driving deep into subject-specific game, that is GBL, strategy for all level. Practicality is to providing ready-to-use subject-specific strategies to replace rote learning. Data-driven, establishing evidence for leadership on student retention and engagement scores. Assessment, developing concrete rubrics for CBE to measure learning outcomes through play. And lastly, outcomes, measuring competency-based education through authentic assessment rubrics. Let's move forward. Again, dear audience, I would like you to write in the chat box one skill, just one skill that you thought board game taught you that a textbook could never do it. Just write one skill that a board game taught you that a textbook never did.
Ma'am, Sheeta ma'am is telling that it is a focus, ma'am.
It is focus.
Noor Jamal, hands-on activities. Yeah.
Thank you, Saraswati ma'am. Decision making. Great. Critical thinking. Thank you, Sheetal ma'am. Anvia ma'am, observation skills. Thank you so much. Well, wonderful. Thank you. Creative ideas. Yes, that is also there. So as per me, GBL, experiential learning, great. Concentration, yes, that is very important. Creativity, agreed. So as per me, GBL board games, teach us to plan ahead, anticipate consequences, and revise our strategies in real time. Unlike textbook, the outcome isn't fixed. Every move matters. Waiting for a turn, losing a chance, or facing a setback teaches self-control, resilience, and grace in failure. Lessons are rarely experienced through written exercises. I'm sure you all agree to it, that lessons are rarely experienced through written exercises. Great, thank you so much. Now, the research from data scientists show that active practice through games leads to roughly 5x higher retention than passive learning. Passive learning is 15%. Game-based reading and visual is 35%. Game-based study is 75%. And teaching others through GBL, that is game-based learning, is 90%. So it's really very evident that game-based learning has a maximum percentage of retention in students. Now, this has very nicely been understood by our policymakers, and so NEP 2020 para 4.4 mandates it that in all stages, experiential learning will be adopted, including hands-on learning, arts integrated, sports integrated education. It also talks about moving away from rote memorization, focusing more on concept-based assessment, and indulging more in toy-based pedagogy as a standard. NCF, that is National Curriculum Framework 2023, stages of learning, in foundational years, that is 3 to 8 years, it talks about discovery, exploration, motor skills, storytelling, playway, exploration, toy-based interaction. In the preparatory stage, that is 8 to 11 years, it talks about interaction, it talks about logical puzzles, team-based activity. In the middle school, that is 11 to 14 years, we talk about, NCF talks about subject simulation, abstract reasoning, games, subject-specific board games. And in the secondary, we just don't stop there. In the secondary, it struggles from 14 to 18 years, complex strategies, ethics, real-world modeling, civic role play, is there. We just need to note, dear audience, that games complexity evolves. We just don't stop playing at 8. But the game changes. In secondary, we use games to teach ethics and complex strategies. And toy-based pedagogy has now become a pillar of NCF 2023. Moving ahead, the Jadui Pitara, I'm sure you all know about it. The magic box strategy. This isn't just for primary. It is more of a kit. It is a philosophy. And it emphasizes using indigenous toy to bridge the gap between abstract text and concrete reality. Culturally responsible learning, low cost, no cost implementation, and it also enhances our 21st century skills. We must use creativity to grab attention, and as educators, I feel we must build our own magic box for every subject. I'm sure you all agree to this, and that is why you all are here. Thank you so much again. Games trigger release of dopamine, which is a neural signal for learning. It strengthens the connection and enhances memory retrieval. When students are playing, their brain, it is in the most fertile state. When we talk about chemical learning, these chemicals act as a brain slave, button for new information. They just want new and new information coming up. Cognitive ease. When we talk about cognitive ease, when students are playing, their cholesterol, their stress level are dropping down. They are opening to deep and logical thinking here. So not just our policymakers, but our brain also knows that games are very important for us. Now, what do you think, if I talk about like difference between study and play? Dear audience, would you like to put up? I'm sure it's a very simple question, that what are the difference in study versus play? Can I have some responses in the chat box? Responses of study versus play. Difference between study
boring, play interesting, ma'am.
Yes, that is so true.
From Sheeta, ma'am, study boring and play interactive.
Yes. Play is fun and engaging. Anvia ma'am, thank you. Noor ma'am, interested to play. Play is experience. I agree. So this is just, I know we all know about, such differences, but just to put here, I have made it that study is more in the instruction mode. Passing information, it becomes more of the lecture traffic that we always talk about. The student is more passive here. They are the passive vessels. And learning is extinct and is often temporary and only for exam based, right? Whereas when we add, or when we talk about study mode and GBL, game based learning, it is an engagement hub. It focuses more on generating insight. Student is active, is protagonist. Learning is eccentric and concept oriented. I'm sorry. Yes. The workshop. The workshop is different, in a different way. The child is learning all the teaching things that we are wanting the child to learn. It is more in the engagement form, and students discover concepts through experience learning in eccentric, and they master the art of it. Now here again, dear audience, there is a difference between gamification versus game based learning. What is gamification? Anyone? What is gamification? What do you think would be the difference between gamification and game-based learning? It's a very minor, it's a very hairline difference that we can find. But if there's anyone who could explore, who would just want to speak up, I'm okay with it. Difference between gamification and game-based learning. Okay, I'll speak about it. It's a very, as I said, it's a very hairline difference here. Gamification means adding game elements to a non-game learning activity. Again, I'm repeating. Gamification means adding elements to a non-game learning activity to increase motivation and engagement classrooms. Here students add points. For example, students will add points for completing a worksheet that is done, for giving the correct spelling in the class, for reading properly. But game-based learning uses actual game as the learning activity itself. Here the learning is happening only through the games. Skills are developed during game way. Outcomes are not fixed. Here the outcomes are not fixed. Students learn from choices. For example, learning through addition. We all know learning through addition when we play Ludo. 2 plus 3, you jump to 5. Yes. Strategy developing through chess. Understanding values through snakes and ladder. And here the purpose is to teach concept, skills, and competencies in simple gamification. In simple words, if I say, gamification makes learning feel like a game, and game-based makes learning happen through game. So I'm sure by now you know the difference. Again, I'm repeating, gamification makes learning feel like a game, but game-based learning is making learning happen through a game. All right. Now, when I've already explained you the crust of games, let's understand the power of play in the education. The traditional outdoor games, Kho-Kho, Kabaddi, Gilli Danda, have nurtured cognitive skills and physical skills across Indian communities for centuries, forming the foundation of holistic development. Digital learning, it is so pro nowadays. Mobiles and digital games are emerging as a vital tool for engaging Indian school children. And definitely 21st century skills in this, play fosters creativity, problem solving, teamwork, and emotional resilience. It is one of the key competencies required for thriving in modern India's evolving educational landscape. Dear audience, you will be shocked to know that there are 750 million mobile users. Penetration in 2025, including rural areas with limited infrastructure, and out of it, 260 million school children are the targeted audience for digital learning intervention across the country. And only 68% of rural India is now connected through mobile technology. There are e-learnings, games designed for low literacy rural children, such as English language mobile games, combining fun with foundational skills. Research demonstrates that mobile games improve language fluency and engagement, where traditional schooling faces attendance and resource challenges. Moving ahead. So I have demonstrated, I have rather created some of the games here and in different subjects, and I hope it really helps. This is a complete My Baby Brainstorm. Please add value to it if you can, and let's move forward. So first I've catered to science, stimulation, and discovery. Herein, when I talk about science, it talks about stimulation, experiencing the phenomena, which means that learning science by intimating real world phenomena and discovering concepts through exploration rather than being told the facts. Children observe, predict, test, fail, discover, just like scientists. Yes, scientific stimulation allows students to model real life process in safe and simplified way. I'm sure you all agree to it. Yes. So here I have prepared a very, I have some games wherein I can demonstrate some stimulation and discover. So some of the board games that I could think of was water cycle board game, food chain trail, and force and motion path. Let's experience the phenomena and construction, understanding how it is going to be there. So I hope you all are ready for it. Please ignore the minor mistakes if I've done anything in creating the game. Okay, so the material required for water cycle board is a chart paper or a floor mat. It's a marker pen, dice, and some tokens. These all are something that we always have with us. Now I have created this as my water cycle game. Here we all know that water cycle moves through evaporation, condensation, precipitation, right? So in a similar way, the game will also move. I hope you all are ready for it. Okay. So this is a video. I've made it in a video form because showing it live could be a real time taking and we have restriction of time. So as I play the game, I will explain you the rules and everything. Here the dice decides the temperature. Students discover the cycle order. Okay, so let us start. So you can see that in the first, the dice has shown us number 2. Now the person, the yellow, person will, from the first, that is water body start, will climb to number 2 as usually in a board game it is done. Then again the player 2 rolls the dice and it has come to number 5. So the blue pawn will climb up to number 5. Yes. Again the yellow pawn, the first player has to play and it has got number 1 in the dice. So now dear audience, please pay attention that here the yellow pawn is climbing up 1 step and going to a hot day. Now when the pawn has reached the hot day, it is written move 1 step forward. right? And so the pawn has moved one step forward. Why it has all happened, I will explain you towards the end. Let's first understand the game that has been played. Now the second person, rolls the dice and it has come to number 2. So the blue pawn has moved up to 2, where it is showing precipitation. And when it is showing precipitation, it has to come back to the start. So likewise, every time the dice has been thrown, the board game, the pawns move from the start to the end. Right? Now, I want to know if I were the teacher, I would not have really explained why on a hot day we move forward. So this question is for the audience. Why do you think in a water cycle on a hot day did the yellow pawn move forward? Can I have that in the chat box? Why do you think that the yellow pawn moved forward when it was on a hot day, on a stone of a hot day? Why did it move forward? Anyone? Any science teacher here? They could explain it more nicely if there are anyone. Why on a hot day did the pawn move forward? Yes, because it shows evaporation. Thank you so much, Srilata ma'am. Pooja Gandhi ma'am, thank you so much. Kartika ma'am, thank you. Yes, on a hot day, the evaporation process happens much faster. Yes, because on an evaporation or because on a hot day, the evaporation process happens much faster. If you look into the board again, there are on your right hand side, there is a cold day and it says move one step back. So can I know now, why do we go one step back on a cold day? What is the relation of a cold day with the water cycle or the evaporation process? Can anyone? Why on a cold day do I need to move one step back? Condensation, icing.
Icing, ma'am.
Condensed. Okay, great. Back to previous. Okay, so on a cold day, the evaporation process is slowed down. On a cold day, the evaporation process is slowed down, so the child takes a step back. Likewise, when it is a precipitation, when the child has gone up to the precipitation thing, the stone of precipitation, there we realize that it has already caused condensation and the water body has come, so they come to the start again. Yes. So, in this process, they discover how temperature affects evaporation and condensation. They learn through movements, chance, stand, and observation. If the child lands on a hot day, then he or she takes one step forward as the heat speeds up evaporation. If the child lands up on a cold day, lands up on a cooling day, it takes one step backward as the condensation happens that day. And if the child is landing on a precipitation rock, they go back to the water body because water returns back to earth. So, in this way, I was able to, the child was able to discover the concept which was not told by the teacher. And the child did not memorize the water cycle. They travel through it. I hope you liked this. Just give me a thumbs up if you liked this game and you were able to understand the process of what the water cycle has been done and how the child has discovered on their own. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Moving to the next game. No, before I do, it is very essential that we map the learning objectives with the outcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. So here, scientific reasoning, it explains the movement. Sequence of understanding. We follow the correct order. We have not gone from here to here. We follow the correct order of it. Collaboration. We take turns and we miss a turn also. And cause it in effect, it connects the heat and the movement, the cold and the movement. Yes? Okay, now let's go to the second game, that is force and motion part. So here I spoke about the discovery part, which I earlier mentioned when I showed you the science, slide. So here I'm talking about something called as stimulation. So here, force and motion part. What are the material required? It is chart paper, flow mats, marker pens, counters, and straw fingers. Now, dear educators, these are all my brainstorm. You can make it the way you want it. It could be played on the floor. It could be played on on the laptop. It could be played on the on the board also once you create that distant markers and numbers. So here I have copied the idea of a hopscotch in a very, very different way. The way I am going to use it now is very, very different. I'm sure we all have played hopscotch. Yes, we all have played hopscotch in our childhood days. Even now we love to, play this. So I've just taken, the diagram from that and I've brainstormed it and I have been able to create something. Let's see. Again, this is in a video form, and as I explain, I will tell you how it is played. So now the tokens, we are all at the start, yes, and the students place their counter at the start, and again the dice is rolled. So you can see that the first player is blue, and the dice which has come is 2. Now there is a catch here, which I told that now the child will be experiencing, the other side of science. Here I have used a straw. So what happens is that the child is blowing the button with a straw and pushing it to number 2. In our original hopscotch, I think we play with our foot. Here the child is blowing and trying to force in air into the straw and making the button go on number 2 as per the dice. So here it has been done. Now player 2's turn. Now player 2 is the red player and it has come 4. Again, the same method has been used, dear educators. Here we need to understand that only one method can be used. Either you push it with your finger or you use the straw. So again, player 2 is using the straw and has pushed the button from the start to number 4, right? Okay, now again, player 1's turn. Now player 1 has got 5. The educators, if we see from 2 to 5, 5 plus 2 will be 8. 7. But when we go from here, it will be 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 up to number 8. It would go. Now the child or the player has to push the straw or blow air in the straw with a force. Yes. So let's see. Okay. So this has gone up to number 8. And likewise, the one who finishes up and is not moving out of the given boxes is where is the winner here. Even not coming on the line. I'm sure when we play hopscotch also, if our counters would fall on the line, we would be disqualified or like said a no or out is what we were calling it. So yeah, so what do you think, if I were the teacher, again, I'm asking you, what do you think will happen if we push gently? If I have to roll to number 5 or number 6, what do you think will happen if I push the, the counter gently? Do you think the counter will move forward? Yes, the educators, do you think do you think we will be able to move the counter forward? Srilata ma'am, I'll come to this in a crowded classroom. I will cater to that question. But I would like to know that if I am at start and I want to go to number 6, do you think if I push gently, my counter will move from one place to another? If I just happen to push it softly, can I get any answer here in the chat box? Yes? No, we won't be. Thank you, Pooja ma'am. Okay. So here, how far do you think we could push? The way that the child has pushed here the counter with the appropriate force is how the counter has moved from 0 to number 6. Where if I say for the second player or for the first player from 0 to 2. So the child has now understood that the strong push concept or the soft push concept is discovered and it is not told. Yes? So again, going back to our science thing, discovering things on their own is what we have been able to cater here. Dear educators, you can use this, with rough and smooth surfaces. You can change your object. You can weight push the counters, and with different strengths, compare distances, discovery more, and more, motion that can be used here. The takeaway for the teachers here would be that begin science lessons with stimulation before explanation. Let the child predict the outcomes, encourage discussion, discover what you notice, value their observations, over correctness, assess, process, not just the product. Science is definitely not learned by memorizing answers, but it is discovering patterns in experience. I hope you enjoyed this game also. Yes. Okay, let's move forward. Thank you, Pooja ma'am. So as I said earlier that we have to map the learning objectives with the outcome. So the observation, here the observation that here the child is noticing distance change. Prediction is making a guess before pushing, right? Cause and effect, it connects forces to the motion, and communication is sharing the findings. Definitely sharing the findings. Yes, I was able to push. No, it needs more force to be pushed here. Now, GBL in language narrative plays. So what is language narratives? It is learning through story creation, role play creation, role play dialogues and imagination, right? Children use language to express, negotiate, create meaningful and communicate rather than only reading and writing it. So I have again created 2 board games here, but I'm showing you 3. So one is Snake's Ladder, story version, which is one is the Pictionary or the Tumshare and Sharkades, role-based board games, and story cubes or story dice. I'm sure you all know about it. Just to demonstrate, I have created 2. So for Snakes and Ladder, which is the story version, material needed is chart paper, floor mat, dice, tokens, completely on you how you are going to do it. So here, dear educators, language is very vivid and spoken, it is written. So story experiencing, listening and observing, children listen to stories, game scenarios and character roles. They absorb the vocabulary, sentence structure and expression. They understand by listening more and playing more. So for example, listening to rules and stories in a board game like this, what I have created. So again, it's a video which I have created. Let me get started with it. So we can see that here I have only taken 1 person because this is a very simple game. By the look of it only, you are able, I'm sure you all are able to understand what it is. So let's start. Again, the dice is being rolled. Dear educators, please forgive me. It should be 5, but my dice is telling you 6. So here we see that, on the 5, the player 1 has reached the, and on the board game on number 5, where it is saying, climb up because you were able to help a friend. Now, when I talk about helping a friend, what is the difference here? Here the child has to tell me a complete sentence or a complete, a complete small narration of 30 seconds as to what did the child do in his real life that helped him, that he did to help a friend. Okay, so it starts with I will climb the ladder because I helped my friend, and then the entire narrative of that child. Again, the dice is being rolled, and see now from 5 the child has climbed up the ladder to number 16. Again, the dice is being rolled, and it is number 1. And here the child has bitten by the snake as in the normal snakes and ladder. So here it is like did not listen. Again, the child has to tell us one life, one example of his life. Like I am coming down the board because I did not listen to, and the complete sentence. The only thing that I'm trying to cater here is to the language and the vocabulary development of each child who is playing here individually. This board can go up to 100 numbers, many more steps, many more ladders, many more, such words can be used here. Yes, I hope you all agree to it. Was it nice? Good enough? I know this is somewhere you all have used this, but demonstrating it in a very different way how we can use it. Thank you so much, Hital ma'am and Radha ma'am. Okay, now going to the next one. We'll map the objectives. The speaking forms meaningful sentences, values, connects action to outcomes. Participation, it takes turns and it listens. Now here it is very important, that the value is also being added. Like every action has an outcome. So whatever action they have done in their real life, because they are giving anecdote from their own day or from their own week schedule that has happened. So it is adding value to them. And we are waiting for participation because everyone is taking turn here. And we are waiting, we are listening, And then lastly, reflection. It explains the choices that we have done. Yes? Okay. So let us see one more game that I have created. Story cube, story dice. Material required is 6 to 9 dice or paper cubes. Each face will only show a noun here. So these are some of the cubes, which we just throw on our boards and we play. So this story cubes are dice with pictures, words or symbols instead of numbers. Where children roll them, they create a story using the images shown, and there is no right and wrong in the story. Only imagination, logic, and expression. Traditional, textbook work is not here. So we are not giving them a fixed content here, like in the textbook. We are giving them a way to discover their own, discover their own thoughts, make it, sew it in a story way and give it to us. So let's start with this story. And I'm wanting one volunteer to build a story for us. So now the dice has been rolled and all the, dices have come up here. I would want one of you to unmute yourself and weave a story for us. Anyone? Please raise your, virtual hand and you can unmute and we can hear a story from you. Pooja ma'am, would you want to weave a story for us? Yes.
So, ma'am, we have to see all these pictures and we have to create a story, right?
Yeah, just a story on your own. Yes.
Okay. It's like a house is there, and the first thing to we have. Sorry, ma'am, I'm unable.
No issues, ma'am. No issues. So a story will usually start with once upon a time. Yes, we can start something like that. So once upon a time, I was very, adventurous. I took a torch. I went to a bungalow. My mobile network was out of place. I could find a fish in that bungalow, and there was an eaten apple also kept there. But I discovered a book which was quite ancient, which spoke about a lock which had to be broken up, or which had to be used later on. Yes. So I think, and then that is how the story keeps on connecting. So here the difference is, that when we are talking in a GBL way, we are giving open-ended thinking concept to the child. Anything can be created out here. Anuradha ma'am wants to speak. Pooja ma'am, can you please unmute her?
Yes, salam, sir.
Anuradha Dothe, yeah, you can unmute.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, you can speak now.
Yes, yes. Thank you for allowing. Yes, I want to try myself. There is a fantasy story like one child was over there and there was no light at the home and he just look out for the torch, and then he find out the fish in his house, and then he got his mama's mobile, and he was getting very hungry. There was no light, so he got an apple. So after that he was very bored, so he thought to do some study, and then her mama came to that house and she unlocked him, and he was very happy.
Great, ma'am. Beautiful, beautiful description of all the nouns, of all the pictures which is shown there. Clap.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So Pushpa ma'am is also writing कि एक रात जब मैं घर पर अकेले था तो मुझे बाहर से कुछ आवाजें आई जिन्होंने सुन के मैं अपने टॉर्च लेकर बाहर देखने गया. बाहर निकलने से पहले मैंने घर का ताला लगा दिया. बाहर तालाब में एक सुनहरी मछली तैर रही थी. मैम, ब्यूटीफुल. So, this dice thing is the most simplest, low cost, no cost, game that we can introduce to our children. And see the diverse answers that we are getting here. I created one story. Anuradha ma'am created one story. Pushpa ma'am has written one story. So I'm sure each one of us, all the participants here, will have their own version of this story. Yes? Okay. Let's move to the next subject here. But before we do, let's map up the objective. So, students will develop oral language and vocabulary, and this can be used in languages. It can be used in Hindi, it can be used in Marathi, it can be used in, the South Indian languages, Odia, Tamil, Telugu, any language, there is a sequence of events. Like the child will understand this is the beginning, this is the middle, and it has to be and end. There is an expression of emotions, idea, and that comes with so much of confidence. And the others, everyone are listening, and the others are weaving their own story. So, once this activity is done, we can actually ask the student to write. So, at the end, we are inculcating maybe very small, story writers with us. We don't know where it takes them, but this is a very good start for them. Yes, thank you so much. Now, this is a social science topic that I have taken up here. Civic role play, social science, civic role play. So what is civic role play in social science? Civic role play is learning social science by enacting real life civic roles, system and decision making process, and reflecting on whatever we have done, whether it was right or whether it was wrong. I have tried to make a very game related to that. So let's start for it. Some games which I have thought about was mini democracy board, market stimulation game. This is for definitely higher classes, standard 9 and 10, market stimulation, where we are talking about stocks, market and all. Community problem solving game and constitution walk. In civics, I'm sure we all start with constitution, democracy, and then going up to how problem solving is done. So this is a small attempt from me to create a game, and I'm hoping, that you would like this game. Let's move forward. So the first game that I would like to show is a mini democracy board. Material required is again chart paper, marker pens, dice, and counter. Every game that I've created here is, low cost, no cost game. We have it with us. So dear audience, this is the game that I was able to make. It is completely created. You can see that the board game has the, the states of India. And on your left, you can see there are years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's get started. I have used snipping tools and Canva to create, this game. So let's get started. This was one of the, blank, blank sheet, blank template, which I was able to get in Google. But then let's move forward. And after that, this is what I have created here. So this is the Monopoly board. And as we all know, that we will add to the start only here. So before I start, I would just like to talk about the rules of this game. This game adds to the realm by preventing players from constantly attacking each other. You have to wait for the election year to steal a state. Okay, so elections happen in every 5 years. That's why on your left-hand side, we have all the years there. And this, you have to wait for 5 years to steal a particular state which is owned by your fellow participants here. The election cycle, and you need to, instead of attacking wherever you want. So the game runs on a 5-year clock, as you can see into your left, which I already spoke. So we will place one coin to a start, and every time, this game which I've created is of 2 people playing. So every time the 2 people have played, 1 year is ending. Okay, so let me just demonstrate the game to you. You will be getting a more idea on it. So the first player has already rolled the dice and it has come to number 2. So now the token will move, the blue pawn has moved to number 2 and it has landed itself on the very first on community chest. So, there, as in our Monopoly board game, we pick up the community chest, token. So likewise here also, community chest token has been picked up and it is telling you to miss a chance, like at the very first, the player has missed a chance. So now the second player has rolled the dice. It has come to number 3 here. So now the yellow pawn is on number 3 and number 3 is Rajasthan. So now the player 2 can buy Rajasthan, the state, as in the Monopoly games it happens, paying the amount which is there on the ticket there. So now both the players have had one turn each. So onto your left, dear audience, you can see that now the 1 year, the one of the pawns, one of the coins has moved to 1 year. Okay, so now let's move forward because it's a 5-year game, which I have already mentioned. So now the second player has to roll the dice. And the second player has rolled the dice. It has come to number 5. Oh my, the player has landed itself on chance. So now again, the player will pick up a chance token. Let us see what is reading that. It is talking about loss of confidence. When I talk about loss of confidence in civics, we know that you can create a government when there is a loss of confidence there. Yes, when you're not getting players, when the opponent is not, when the state is not in the, I'm sorry, where did I go? Yeah, I'm sorry, the game just went away. Yes, so, loss of confidence happens when the state is not getting enough of majority to continue the government, right? And that is when the governor can declare a loss of no confidence motion and in the assembly, and a no alternative party if there is found, then we can demonstrate the majority and the governor may dissolve the assembly prematurely and a new election can be there. So now when the pawn is on 5, the pawn keeps up with this token with him. So once the 5-year calendar has been completed, or even before that, if he happens to reach to Rajasthan, he can show this card and buy that state because an election is bound to happen with this card here. So likewise, with each round of playing, the pawn is moving up to 1, 2, 3 until 5 years. Yes, I hope so. What has happened here is I have not explained the child. The child is picking up the game on its own, is able to understand what exactly happens, in our constitution, how it works. Yes, I was able to explain the election part of it, like when an election is happening, who are the people who are involved in it? Because when I pick up chance or when I pick up community chest, I can write n number of things there, whatever I want them to learn and them to understand. Okay, I hope you like this game. Okay, so let's move forward. So in the chance, you can add a hung governments, which is there. I'm sorry, yeah. So we can add about a hung government which is there and how it, how elections are happening before 5 years also. Okay, so now a mapping of the learning objectives. So civic understanding voting, discussions, rules and fairness. Communication is speaking and listening. Collaboration is taking turns. Values, they show fairness because they cannot even start with an election until it is not 5 years or they have a chance card with them. And lastly, values, that it shows fairness, respect, and civic responsibility. Yes? Okay, let's move to the next game of civics itself. Community problem solving game. So material required is a deck of cards and 30 seconds timer. So dear audience, if you can see, this is a live game which I'm going to show you. So this is the deck of cards which I have. Yes, and on each card, I have written something. Like for here, it is written used. First, I distribute the card to 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can you see the game? It's not fine. How do I show it? Okay, so I have distributed 5 cards to the player 1. Okay, and it is talking about tell your teacher about it. Then the second is use the dustbin properly. There are a few prompts here. Inform the local authorities. Loud music is played during homes and during the exam, and inform the municipality or the elders. So these are the cards of player 1. Okay, and now these are the 5 cards of player 2. This talks about repair the tap, make clear line rules, stray animals roam near the school area, assign an energy monitor, and children tease a classmate. So these are some of the problems that we happen to face during our schools and in our day-to-day life. Now, I'm sure when those who play cards will know how to make sets, right? So, for example, player 1, if I have played, if I want to play this game, how will I do it? So, suppose I put the card, loud music is played near the homes during exam timing. Now, this is one of the card which I have played, and on my counter side, if this is a problem, right? This is a problem that I have posted. So in my counter side, if they have a solution, for example, it does not have, my counterpart does not have any solution. So what they will do is they will just miss a turn. And if I have that solution, inform municipality or the elders. I will put that card on that card, and I will make one pair of myself. Now I am remained with 3 cards here. So from the remaining deck of cards, I am adding 2 more cards to myself. Now it is player 2's turn. So player 2 has put up a card which talks about assign and children tease a classmate. Okay, so when player 2 has pasted his card, player 1 has this card which is a solution. Tell your teacher about it. So now when I put up this card and it becomes a pair, this becomes my second pair of the game. And because each one of us have lost a card, so one card is added back to them. Likewise, the game continues till all the cards are not exhausted and till the person has not won or made maximum pairs. So you will mix, problems and questions in it. And likewise, you will play the game. Now, what if someone is only having problems? Like my player 2 will only have problems with him. So it's okay. Let him post the problems only. Or what if player 1 has only solutions? So let them post the solutions. If you don't have, you pick up a deck of cards from the middle deck which is left with us. I hope you've been able to understand this game. Yes? Okay, right. So this was a live game which I wanted to demonstrate. Okay. So let's move forward. Now coming up to our mapping of learning objectives. So thinking critically, we identify the real community problems here and practice democracy. We are practicing democracy because everyone has a chance to speak. Everyone can talk about themselves. Yes, it is practical solution which everyone has to come up to. We respect the opinions, different opinions that everyone can come up with, and we understand the community responsibility. It's very, very important that in the process of our teaching, we understand the basic ethical understanding, which is to make our wards understand the community responsibility. So with this game, this really works wonder. I play this game with my kids, and this really works wonder. Every time a new problem is approaching, the think card, the problem card, and the solution card just changes, and it did not take much. This is an old card. I've just pasted a chit in between. So this really works. Even two students can keep playing amongst themselves in the class. So this really is a very good game. All right. Now for mathematics, again, it develops the concrete stage by doing pictorial representation, by seeing, and abstract and logical thinking is also there here. So it refers to the understanding of mathematical concepts through hands-on, visible, and experiential mean. Children see, touch, move. You can see it in the picture. The child is playing with the blocks, right? And Ludo is the best example for this. Snakes and ladder. It develops skills, counting 1 to 2 and its corresponding comparing qualities. Addition is taught through the movement. Like if the child is stepping on number 4 and, like the child has rolled with number 4, instead of going writing +4, the child is moving +4 there on the board. And pictorial representation, as I've written here, is learning through pictures and diagrams. The number lines that we create. The best game here could be a tally game or a marks down dice game. Yes. And skills developed is visualizing numbers, understanding patterns, recognizing relationships, and so on. Math, I feel that we should always start with the math lesson with games or manipulatives and allow the children to talk through their moves, in the classroom itself. Let them be moving and, creating their own artway to come to the teacher's table. And it is gradually from playing, drawing, and then writing up their sums and other things. And it assesses thinkings, not speed. So I feel, mathematics is not learned on papers. It is first lived through movements, play, and experiences. I'm sure you all agree with me. Okay. Now, GBL in art, sports, and integration. So art, sports, and integration means means using movement, games, rhythm, designs, and physical expressions to strengthen creativity, physical literacy, emotional well-being, and academic understanding. Learning happens through the body and imagination, not only through the expression and the mind. Children learn through sports in the movement. Children learn by jumping. Children learn by balancing, coordinating, physical activity. And it improves focus, memory, and self-regulation. Yes? Classroom integration examples could be designing your own board game. I have designed so many. I'm sure you are going to take away few ideas which you could do it on your own. Movement-based art. As I said, teachers from the child desk to the teacher's desk, you could make a zigzag drawing using a chalk also in your classroom. That is movement-based art. Sports commentary role play. A child can give you a commentary live, what is happening in the game, in the field, and fitness and rhythm. Now the digital GBL toolkit. Of course, we know we are in the 21st century here, and we have to cater to the digital toolkit. So it is Kahoot. I'm sure you all are using this. It is Wayward. Wayward is again a quiz game, Word World, and Minecraft. So do we have time? Can we play any of the two games live? Can I share the link in the chat box if we have time?
Yes, you can go ahead.
All right, sir. Thank you. So I'll just stop this and share the other screen. All right, I would want you all to look into my screen again. It is talking about, I'm taking you to the wayward here. So this is I'm pasting this in the chat box. Dear audience, I would like you to join this. Please join this. Yes, it is loading. And this is the code. I'm sharing my code also with you. Please join this with the code and so we can start. Okay, so I'm starting. I'm hoping you all have joined it. So this is a little digital tool I have used to create a quiz on my own. It does not have a lot of questionnaires here, very simple, but just to explain you how kids would enjoy this, you know. So I would want someone to join in here. Anyone?
No one has joined.
I'm not sure, sir. Okay, I think we were able to start. Okay, so you know.
Someone has joined.
Yes.
Lakshmi has joined.
Yes. So Sheila ma'am has joined. So neither of the boys completed the homework. So you can just tick mark on your own. What would be the answer here? Neither of the boys dash completed the homework. So you have an option here: have, has, are, where. Ma'am, you can join with the link that I have given and then put the code. On your right hand side, it will tell you to start now. Press the start now and put the button. And you can put the code there. And it will start. Okay. So suppose the answer is, I'll join with the code. Okay, so the answer here is has. And when I move forward, ma'am, are you able to join in now?
No, ma'am, she's saying she could not join.
Okay.
And Sarita ma'am is saying it's showing that as cannot start, it seems, ma'am.
No, I have already started, ma'am. You can see this is live, which I am showing you. So
It's
on
showing
your right hand side, it is talking on your right hand side, on the top right hand side, it is telling you join my quiz. Please press that button. Once you press that button, you will be asked to join with the code, which I have already shared on the chat box. So you can join it like that. Okay, I'm not able to play this game because I've already tried it once. But anyways, so, wayward is
yes,
one of the
ma'am,
ways
started.
where you can actually, yeah, you were able to, okay,
Started. Sarita ma'am, yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, 7 correct is already given. So, in this, you create a timer for 30 seconds and, we start with this game. So it's very easy. And, the paid version tells you to make it personally only for you. But this is a public domain, so you can even make few and let it be floated by others, to be used by other educators also. So answered is 10 students have already replied. Great, good. Okay, so I'm sure many of you have completed. Yes? Okay. So I will just end the game now, end assessment. Yes. Likewise, I also have a game of magic spin. I will also share that in the chat box. So just give me a minute. You can even join with this. So these are two digital tools which I wanted to share. So this is the magic spin, magic tool. So once you join in here, it is talking about the spin of the wheel. We just need to click it and it moves. So let's spin it once. Here it is given, spin it. And this is for everyone. Once everyone does it, I will be able to find out the answer, what it is. So find out the value of 375 plus 268. Yes, anyone? Anyone would want to show? Tell me, what is the answer? And in 30 seconds, see on your right hand side, you will be able to see the timing also. It is in 30 seconds that you need to answer. Yes, thank you. Now, again, a second time we can spin. And each time you keep spinning, the wheel becomes shorter and shorter, becomes more smaller, omitting the question which is already done. So I'll spin it again. Which fraction shows the shaded part of if 3 is out, of 8 parts are shaded? Anyone? Okay, this is the answer. Thank you. Now moving ahead. See, again, 1 is done. Now we are left with only 2 questions because I created only 4. So let's spin it again. Ria has 4 dozen of pencils. How many pencils will she have? Will she have 48 or will she have 32? Anyone?
48, ma'am.
Thank you, which is correct. Okay. And now, because I've created only 4 questions, this is the last one. What is the place value of 7 in the number 5,728? It's very easy. It is 700. Yeah. So likewise, there are many tools wherein we can create the game. I can see the leaderboard and, there is a leaderboard also. I am second on the leaderboard because I've already tried it once where I was first. Yeah. Right. So these were some of the digital tools which I have tried to cater, which I have tried to, share it with you all. Apart from the ones which I have created. Going back to my presentation. Okay. Yes. So these were just some. I'm sure many of you are using it. Can someone share their favorite, digital tool that they have been using it? Anyone? Anyone can share their favorite digital tool that they have been using it? In the chat box, anyone if they are using it? Okay, all right.
Playground.
Yeah, playground. This is one of very good ones. I came across this and it really helps because it is, you can make it for every, grade and every class around. Okay, let's move forward. I have a case study wherein 3 friends, Ria, Arav and Kabir, were playing on the playground. And this case study talks about incorporating all language, mathematics, science in one, game that she played. So the teacher says, today we will learn a game, and the game begins. And the ground was a big board, it was drawn with chalk and it was numbered from 1 to 20, and the dice was rolled. So Ria had to jump 4 steps forward, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Rav rolled the dice and he got 6. So he was on 5. Now he adds it up to 6 and goes to 11. So likewise, each child is enjoying themselves. But there was a surprise element here. There was a surprise square here. Kabir lands himself on a green square and it had a picture of plant. So the teacher is asking Kabir, like, what do you think the plant needs to grow? And Kabir said, water, which was a correct answer. So, then you can move 1 step forward, right? And likewise, so children learned, by doing different activities on one board game itself. So as I incorporated the the dice, the Ludo game here, the snakes and ladder, and I'm so sorry. So there, when they landed on one particular red say block, the teacher asks, you have to tell me one good thing that you did, and you have to tell me in the story form. So it says, today morning I started with, and a small anecdote was told. And the teacher then says, okay, fine. Now you have told me a good anecdote. You can move to 1 step forward. Likewise, every red, green, blue squares which was there, and the friends were playing, they had to add or put up with something new. So in each block, each colored block spoke about science, spoke about maths, spoke about civics, you can say. They can play the role game here, the problem solving games here, and likewise. So this really, really helps the students to understand in one game all the different subjects that we can cater to. But as one of our teachers have already, said, like impacting visual impact definitely with play game method learning is definitely more than the rote learning that we follow. The data itself shows you, attendance rate increases, student engagement increases, foundational skills increases, and definitely when all these things increases, teacher satisfaction also increases. How do we create a GVL framework flow? First, we need to know the purpose. What is it that we want the child to know? How is it that the child is going to play? Where is it that the child is going to play? What is the process I should make the child understand? Should it be more in the dialogue form or should it be more in the discovery form? Then we need to reflect on our own game, whether what we have done, is it correct or is it not? And finally, everything scales down. We have to assess what we have done. CBSE rubrics really helps teacher to capture skills, processes, and attitudes, access learning during play, and it is aligning with HPC and NCF. Challenges that we see here is digital inequality because not everyone will be digitally, pro enough to start. Screen time definitely is a concern, and content and pedagogy gaps remain still as a concern for many of the educators here. But some of the solutions, that we can say, when we talk about large size, one of the teachers have actually mentioned this large size. What do we do? So we can use rotation. We can use the stationery in rotation. Like now this group has played, now the other group can play. Low cost, no cost material. All the games which I shared here has low cost and no cost. They are only using chalkboard, chalks, bottle caps as counters. And assignment alignment, because we have to link it with our checklist, that is there, that HPC and NCF has provided to us. So finally, play as pathway to educational future came as a powerful tool. It is helping in bridging, divides, empowering educators and nurturing our competencies. It is not a break from learning. It is a learning in action, is what I firmly believe. Thank you so very much, dear audience. You have been great. The communication on the chat has been great. And I know I took extra time, but as sir had already mentioned to you that I would. And I hope there is something that you have taken back with you and it was quite informative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Shweta. Dear participants, please give your inputs, your feedback in the chat box.
Yes, I would really want. Please share your inputs, how it was, whether I was good enough, whether new ideas, where I was able to inculcate any new ideas and, stimulate that part of you as well to create and come up with new games.
Miss Pooja, you can read out the comments in the chat box.
Sure, sir. Yeah, ma'am, participants are saying thank you so much for the wonderful ideas and session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Wonderful session it was. It was very helpful session, madam. Thanks.
Marzia ma'am, thank you. Sheetal Jadhav ma'am, thank you so much for the feedback. Shri Vidya ma'am, thank you so much, for this such a wonderful feedback. Umesh sir, thank you. Niru,
Will really
Nirupa,
help, ma'am.
thank you.
The session.
Thank you.
Also,
Thank you so
any
much.
questions? They can ask questions.
Yes.
Yes.
If anybody would like to ask any questions, you can raise your hand. We'll unmute you. If no questions, you can go ahead winding up, Miss Pooja.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shweta, ma'am, really the session was very interesting. As being as a primary teacher, it was really very helpful for me also as well, and it was very interesting, ma'am. Very interesting.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the help also.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Your beautiful presentation and words of wisdom have added on to the intellectual pursuits of our esteemed participants. So we may have some questions by our participants, but I think we did not found any. So I would like to extend our gratefulness and appreciation for Madam Shweta Jain for enlightening us with boundless discourse. I am sure we will apply these strategies in our teaching methodology and ensure our young learners reap maximum benefit out of it. Dear participants, kindly note the link for the certificate and feedback form has already been posted. You are requested to fill up the form with all necessary details. I, Pooja Upadhyay, along with Extra Mile Education and Training, would like to thank Dr. Abdul Salam sir for his boundless support and guidance. Thank you, sir, for such a great opportunity. Salam, sir.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am, for your help and your
Thank you, sir.
moderation. And definitely, Shweta ma'am, it was a Herculean, effort from your side. I don't know how you made the games and all.
Yeah,
On
it was very
computer, yeah,
interesting.
But it was.
yeah, that games video and all. It
So,
was,
in the process, I actually increased my knowledge learning few, softwares. So Canva was there, Scratch was something that I learned it from my child. I was like, how do I make them jump, make it more interesting? I really wanted to show this card game on the video, but sir, that was something that I could not reach.
yeah, thank you so
So
much.
my apologies for that, but I have made an honest
No, it
attempt.
was a great
No,
learning,
ma'am, but
great
I
learning.
think you read it very well as the card was not visible on the screen, but you read it very well, ma'am. It was, not visible, but I think participants can understand that well.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you, Pooja ma'am.
correct.
That actually helps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
And
sir.
So,
most importantly, thank you a million times to all the participants for their enthusiasm. I sincerely hope we earned the privilege of your time. Thank you, each and every participant present over here. And thank you, Salam sir. Over to you, sir.
thank you, thank you. And well, so there is a saying that necessity is the mother of invention. So, thank you so much, ma'am. Really, we appreciate your, your commitment, your, enthusiasm in learning and, contributing to the education industry. So from your session, so many might have, benefited from. Am I audible or is there any?
No, no, sir, you are audible, but some other voice is also coming.
Yeah,
Something.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
Something
even
else.
I too.
So maybe some echo or something like that.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay. So thank you so much once again to Pooja ma'am and Shweta ma'am. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and keep learning with us with external educational learning. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Biju sir, are you there?
So I'll just put in a
Yes,
word.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Shweta ma'am, over to you. Biju sir, just hold on, please.
Yes, Shweta ma'am, you can
Yeah,
speak.
I would sincerely thank Salam sir for hand holding me, from the scratch to the presentation that I've made. I have actually texted him, sir, I would like to take some extra time, and this is where I'm stuck, and this is the video that I'm going to do. And he actually really hands hold, sir. Thank you so much. It is, that extra push which is needed, because we know we can, but that extra push is something which you give with that smiling face, and all your texts and everything. Thank you so much, sir. Biju sir, thank you so much for providing us with this opportunity, and the platform as well. Pooja ma'am, great work. Thank you again for
Yes,
all the help, doing it, like being there with me throughout. Happy New Year to everyone in advance. Thank you again.
Happy New Year to you and to
One
everybody.
thing I would also like to say, Shweta ma'am, as you told, seriously, I feel Salam sir has that, IQ like, who can do what well. So extra mile, I feel it's not only the platform to grab the things and, growth our knowledge, but also a teacher can, show what they have, what kind of knowledge or anything else, whatever creativity they have, they can show at this platform. And sir, I feel you guide very well to us, each one of us. So thank you so much, Salam sir, for that also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Actually, it is, kind of, sharing and, caring, sharing
Share
your
and care.
knowledge. Yeah. Thank you so much. And Biju sir, please wind up.
Thank you, sir. Shweta ma'am, really you have done a wonderful job, ma'am. As sir told, it's a Herculean task. It is actually a Herculean task for all the respected teachers to control and to get the attention of the children, to make the class joyful. It's very difficult. In another way, we can use a scale and make the children keep quiet. But in the meanwhile, how to use that 35 minutes or 40 minutes very actively, with all the improving the fine motor skills, and making the children, the classroom situation, a joyful learning, that you have really created a very wonderful idea. And many different types of teaching methodology using joyful and playway method you have adopted, and definitely it is going to be helpful for all the educators to implement it in their classrooms. So thank you all. Thank you once again to Sweta Jain for your wonderful effort taken,
Thank you,
and
sir.
wishing all a very happy new year and a prosperous happy new year. Thank you all.
Thank you. Good night. Happy New Year to everybody.
Good
Yeah,
night, sir.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night,
Good
sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.